We mountain-born hold the spirit dear, but I seek not just to hold it. I seek to become its champion, like the Asmiri of old. I seek to become a spirit walker.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Arrow, and today I want to talk about the Spirit Walker buffs that have already happened. Grounded Gear Games released a showcase yesterday that included some more detailed information about the Spirit Walker ascendancy and revealed some major buffs, particularly for Twisters on League Start. This ascendancy lends itself so much to playing Twisters that I won't spend too much time explaining how it works, but let's quickly go over the ascendancy nodes that are crucial here. So we start with Primal Bounty. Primal Bounty is an ascendancy node that also grants a skill called Primal Bounty, where you gain a Primal Owl feather every 4 seconds up to a maximum of 3. When you dodge roll, you expend all of the feathers that you have to gain additional projectiles and projectile speed. With the Matcha's gift, you will get 100% more empowerment per additional feather expended. I assume that means after the first. So that means up to 6 projectiles and a couple 100% speed. This also makes you gain owl feathers 50% faster. So instead of 4 seconds, it will be 3 seconds. We will take the Companion Bear for its bonuses, and then also Vivid Stampede. Vivid Stampede creates stags that charge out when you attack, and they've got some incredibly powerful buffs that we'll get into. So lastly, we're going to take the secret node that is unlocked if you have all 3 companions, and that has been buffed as well, which we will get into. So that is basically the core of the build, and I was really excited to try it out. I spent a few hours on stream the other day trying to figure out a cheeky way to not have to use the Wake of Destruction 10 move speed boots that give you shocked ground. In order to play Twisters, you pretty much have to have an elemental ailment ground so that the tornadoes can pass over it, absorb the ground, and get additional damage. In the past, there are a couple of ways to solve this. You could use a companion, finding a mob that gives shocked or chilled ground, or you could use the Wake of Destruction boots, which I really don't like because they have 10 move speed, and I was hoping for a newer, more modern solution. So I came across Shocking Leap, a support that I've used before, and thought, oh, maybe it could apply to the stags. The stags do say that they leap. Maybe that'll work. We'll have to see. It's pretty risky, but who knows? Well, Grounded Gear Games has released a new showcase that shows that the stags already have shock built in. So let's see what has been added to Vivid Stampede. So shocked ground duration lasts 4 seconds is a new line. And also in the text above, it says any stags that travel the maximum possible distance also leave behind shocked ground. I'm not sure what would stop them from traveling the maximum distance, so that's something that we're going to have to sort out. So on top of leaving shocked ground after traveling their max distance, there's also a 50% more chance to shock, which is a really, really important thing. We are going to be scaling attack damage, so the Vivid Stampede will get that, but we won't necessarily be using a ton of damage supports in here, so more chance to shock will be really important. The fact that this shocked ground is built into the skill and not built into the boots means you can actually scale the shock as well. So you could use something like lightning exposure, which gives you exposure on enemies when you shock them. You can use overcharge, which gives you more magnitude of shocks, provided you could get some shock mitigation for yourself. And you can even use something like innervate, which gives you attack damage gained as lightning when you kill a shocked enemy with supported skills. I can't say exactly how often that'll be up, but these stags will definitely be doing enough damage to kill. Another really cool thing about this is these are automated. You don't have to do anything to make the stags work. You don't have to press any buttons. They are just triggered when you attack. Another buff to the stags, Mark actually said in the video that it's every 10 meters that you travel and not 20 meters. 10 meters is not very much in PoE, particularly when you get some move speed in the end game. So we'll need to travel half as far to generate all of our stags. I actually think there's probably a decent stag build to be made, but we'll let somebody else figure that out. So these stags will get triggered when you use your Whirling Slash. Whirling Slash helps you build up more tornadoes. There'll already be stags out and shocked ground out, so that when you release those tornadoes, there's nothing else that you have to do. So assuming you take the boar, the owl, and the stags, you unlock a secret new ascendancy notable. It's free to allocate, so that means you can still take a 4th point. So number 1, it makes your stags leap towards enemies, which is really useful because then that shocked ground is actually underneath enemies, particularly on bosses. But then for mapping, you're actually going to get some extra clear out of it. Those stags will be targeting enemies in all directions. And not that Twister really needs it, but it's always nice to have more coverage. Next, it makes you so your bear grants you a buff. You will have 2% regen if you're in the presence of the bear. And also you're going to take 8% less damage. So no changes to that, but pretty nice. 8% less damage taken is a pretty solid buff. And regen is very hard to come by. Given how frustrating it can feel to deal with dots in this game, any regen is very welcome. So, and lastly, it gives Soaring Ground from the owl. It says the central projectile of owl feather empowered skills leaves a trail of soaring ground. So soaring ground before gave 30% evasion, 40% increased damage on full life, and lasted for 4 seconds. That has been majorly changed and buffed. The new soaring ground grants both evasion and damage, but it also gives onslaught when you're standing on the ground. Onslaught's not super easy to get in this game like it is in PoE 1, so this is a really, really big buff. It also says these effects linger for 1 second, which means you can kind of go on and off of the ground and keep the onslaught buff alive. Lastly, soaring ground has a 6-second base duration instead of 4 seconds as previously noted. If you look at the gameplay of these twisters when they're moving really quick, they're kind of covering the screen in these soaring ground lines, which means as you run, you're going to be on and off of them. But provided it's only a second or less in between the time that you touch it, you're going to have onslaught a lot of the time. Also, because it's the central projectile, you can kind of aim it where you're going, and you can follow along that trail for a little while until you need to cast again. This soaring ground buff is really, really big. So all of this is to say this is probably going to be my league starter. I'm going to be doing some league start testing over on stream, twitch.tv/AER0__. So stop by, check me out, drop that Twitch Prime. I have played twisters before, but there's some new tech for leveling that I'm going to be checking out from That's Real Nito. So shout out to Nito for his ice-tipped arrows version of leveling this skill. You can use twisters right away, which I love. And it looks like with this ice-tipped arrows added effect, the leveling process is going to be pretty smooth. So hoping for no nerfs to twisters in the patch notes this week, but we'll have to wait and see. So make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. All of those things really do help. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care.